Take a moment to really look at the people you spend most of your time with. Think about how they affect you. This includes everyone who can change the way you think or act. Ask yourself, who are my friends and the people I hang out with? Then consider how these individuals influence you. Are they leading you in a good direction or a bad one? Think about the things they do that affect you. The activities you're involved in because of them, the music and conversations you're exposed to, the books you're reading because they recommended them, and where they take you. Reflect on how they shape the way you think, talk, and feel. Think about both the positive and negative ways they impact you. It's really important to take the time to understand how your social circle affects your life. Pause for a while and ponder the individuals you hang out with. If their influence on you is positive, that's great. But it's crucial to reflect. Who are these people and how exactly do they influence me? Now think about whether you're comfortable with that influence. Maybe the people you spend time with bring out the best in you, or perhaps they don't. What I'm suggesting here is to thoroughly and honestly assess this situation. It's smart to take a step back and reassess, especially when we're talking about how others affect us. The influence of both positive and negative factors can have a big impact on how your life turns out. These influences will shape your path, but it's the positive ones that will lead you where you really want to go. Sometimes we don't realize how much the people and things around us affect us. You might think, I live here, and the people I'm around don't matter much to me. They don't do me any harm, but I encourage you to think again about that viewpoint. Here's something important to remember. Everything counts. Even small things carry weight in our lives. So it's important to regularly check whether the people and things you're surrounded by are pushing you in a positive direction or a negative one. It's worth taking a closer look, isn't it? Ignoring this aspect isn't the best way to go about things. Instead, understanding and discovering the impact of our surroundings is the best approach. It's pretty common for us to let the outside world influence us, to let the people we know guide us, and to allow other people's thoughts and ideas to have a big impact on us. Sometimes we just go along with what everyone else is doing and let outside pressures decide our path for us. But here's the thing we need to ask ourselves. Are we becoming the person we truly want to be? One simple way to end up leading a life that's just okay, nothing special, is by spending too much time worrying about things that aren't all that important. Smart people know how to stop and think carefully before they spend a bunch of time or money on something. It's important to really consider things before you dive in, whether it's a big commitment or just a small one. If you're not careful, you might find yourself hanging out with people who don't really add much value to your life, and that's not what you want, right? It's totally okay to have friends you just hang out with casually, but it's super important to really focus your time and energy on those who really matter in your life. You should spend most of your time with the people who have a big impact on you, and just a little bit of time with those who don't influence you as much. Sometimes it might seem easier to spend a lot of time with the friends who are more casual, but it's really important not to get caught up in that. If you want to change some of the influences in your life, you don't have to completely cut those people out of your life. You can just limit the time you spend with them. For instance, you might think, I like hanging out with these folks, but I'm not going to spend as much time with them anymore. Instead, I'll save more of my time for the people who are really important to me and for the projects that matter. It's all about prioritizing your time and energy on the things and people that truly make a difference in your life. Imagine feeling sorry for someone who has a favorite restaurant but hasn't found a favorite thinker. They've picked a spot to fill their belly, but they're missing out on a place to feed their mind. One way to connect with influential people is through what they've written, whether it's books, recordings, or anything else you can find. Even if you can't meet them face to face, you can still dive into their work. For example, Winston Churchill may not be around anymore, but his books are. Aristotle may have passed away, but his ideas are still alive in his writings. You can search library catalogs for books and recordings. Explore magazines and documentaries too. They're packed with chances to connect and feed your mind. There's a whole world out there waiting for you to explore and learn from. Aside from reading and listening, it's also important to have chances to talk and share your thoughts. In my life, I have specific people whom I regularly hang out with. These folks help me think about big questions in life, shape my personal beliefs, think about what's important to me, and consider what success and lifestyle mean to me. One of the best things that ever happened to me was spending 5 years around Mr. Schoaf. During that time, we talked about ideas over dinners, on planes, at business meetings, and in private group chats. All those conversations helped me make important changes in how I think and what I do. It's incredible how spending time with the right people can really impact your life in such meaningful ways. Every day, the little things we do add up and can have a big effect over time. like in a year, 3 years, or even 5 years. It's important to realize that it's not only about having all the right answers. The questions we ask are just as crucial. Often the most helpful people are the ones who know how to ask the right questions and think deeply about things. Successful people have a variety of experiences and ways of looking at the world. They understand that it's not just about knowing everything, but about exploring and questioning to learn and grow. So keep asking questions, keep learning, and keep growing every day. You'll be amazed at the impact it can have on your life over time. Spending time with Mr. Shove had another great benefit. It helped me keep growing in what I knew, what I experienced, and what I accomplished. This meant I could bring even more insight to the same basic questions we were thinking about. It was an amazing journey of learning and discovery. Questions that I used to think weren't that important started to seem really important as I learned more and gained more experience. It's kind of like when you read the Bible or listen to recordings. The more you experience and learn, the more value you find in what you're reading or hearing. You start to understand things on a deeper level. And the wisdom you gain from this deeper understanding can be the starting point for building your success and creating the life you want. Here's a thought to consider. Strive to become the kind of person that quality people would want to hang around with. Be the type of person who communicates effectively, has a positive outlook, reads a lot, stays disciplined, appreciates culture, and is intelligent. When you have this kind of reputation, you'll find yourself attracting interesting and valuable people to you. Remember, if you want to attract valuable individuals, you need to be someone who is attractive in character and personality. This means working on yourself to become the kind of person others want to be around. By embodying these qualities, you'll naturally draw on the kind of connections that can lead to exciting opportunities and enriching relationships. The influence of the people we spend time with can be really powerful. And sometimes we don't even realize how much they're affecting us because it happens slowly over time. Peer pressure especially can be a strong force because it's not always easy to see. For example, if the people you hang out with tend to spend all their money as soon as they get it, you might find yourself doing the same without even noticing. Or if your friends are more into going to sports games and concerts, you might end up joining them in that preference. Likewise, if the people around you aren't into reading books, you might not feel as motivated to pick up a book yourself. These are all ways that the people we surround ourselves with can shape our behaviors and preferences without us even realizing it. The people we hang around with can slowly nudge us in directions we didn't plan on going, and sometimes we don't even notice it happening. It might take years, even a decade or more, before we pause and think, how did I get here? If we really want our lives to match up with our goals and dreams, we've got to pay attention to these subtle influences. It's crucial to surround ourselves with people who have a real impact on us and can give us valuable advice on important aspects of life. This includes things like society, money, business, family, government, love, friendship, culture, taste, opportunity, and community. Having connections with people who have experience and wisdom in these areas can help us stay on track and make sure we're heading in the right direction. Most of what we do is driven by what we think, and what we think is largely influenced by what we learn. And a big part of what we learn comes from the people we hang out with. So it's important not to just surround yourself with people who always make things easy. Instead, aim to be around individuals who challenge you with the right questions. Look for people who can ask you about the latest ideas you've been thinking about, your beliefs, your goals, and how you're living your life. Seek out environments where there's a high standard and an expectation for growth and improvement. These are the places where you'll be encouraged to be more productive and strive to become better than you are right now. It's all about surrounding yourself with people and places that push you to grow and achieve more. When it comes to deciding who you spend time with, there are some important actions to consider. Firstly, you might want to think about disassociating from certain people. Take some time to ask yourself questions like, who am I spending time with? What impact are they having on me? Is that impact okay with me? After reflecting on these questions, you might realize that there are some individuals you need to distance yourself from. I'm not saying it's an easy decision or one you should make lightly, but it could be a necessary step for your well-being. Sometimes you have to make the tough choice to break away from negative influences. Remember, making this choice could be crucial for protecting the quality of your life and ensuring that you're surrounded by people who uplift and support you. Another action you might want to think about is practicing limited association. Sometimes we find ourselves spending too much time in one area of our lives with a specific group of people. It's easy to end up misusing our time and energy. For instance, imagine spending 3 hours at a sports game, but only 30 minutes listening to a sermon or engaging in something spiritually enriching. This kind of situation is what we call being out of balance, dedicating a small amount of time to something important like spirituality while spending a lot more time on entertainment. These imbalances can catch up to us later on, especially when we look back on our values and priorities 5 or 10 years down the road. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide whether the people and situations you're surrounded by call for disassociation or limited association. But always remember, if your current choices aren't helping you get to where you want to be in the next 5 or 10 years, it might be time to make some changes. It's important to reflect on your actions now and make choices that align with your long-term goals and values. The third step I suggest is called expanded association. This means spending more time with the right kind of people, those who have depth and knowledge, appreciate philosophy and discipline, and have achieved things while maintaining good character. Many years ago, Mr. Schoaf shared some advice with me. He said, if you really want to succeed, you need to be around the right people. He also mentioned, given your current situation, it looks like you'll need to plan and strategize. And he was right. I had to come up with ways to connect with the right people. Whatever it takes, go ahead and do it. Continuously ask yourself, who can I spend time with that would positively impact my life? Seek out those individuals who inspire you to grow, learn, and become better. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to reach your goals and live up to your potential. I explored every possible way to connect with the right people, and let me tell you, it was totally worth the effort. Now, here's something surprising. You can actually invest a reasonable amount to be around influential individuals. Just imagine having the chance to sit down with someone who's really successful for an hour or two, and all you have to do is pick up the tab for lunch. Sounds like a pretty good deal, right? For the price of a meal, that person might share an idea or insight that could completely change your life for the better. This is where we should be looking for our roadmap to success from those who have already achieved it. It's crucial not to take advice, especially when it comes to your finances, from people who haven't found success themselves. So don't hesitate to invest a bit in networking with the right crowd. It could lead to invaluable opportunities and wisdom that can propel you toward your goals. Here's something really exciting to think about. Even if you're not rolling in money, you can still start working on a plan to build wealth. You don't have to be super rich to create a plan for wealth. Just like you don't have to be in perfect shape to begin a health plan. What you do need is to be clever. Clever enough to realize, hey, my current plan might not be the best one. I need to find someone with a better plan and learn from them. So go ahead and seek out successful people who can help you shape your own path to success. Look for someone who's healthy to give you a jump start on improving your health, and find someone with a lifestyle you admire to help you develop your own lifestyle plan. This is what we call intentional association, surrounding yourself with the right people to expand your circle of influence and learn from those who've already achieved what you're aiming for. Remember, it's not about where you are right now, but where you're headed and who you're surrounding yourself with on that journey. So don't be afraid to reach out and learn from others who can help you reach your goals, no matter where you're starting from. Did you know that a big chunk of 85% of how successful you are in life comes from how well you interact with other people? That's pretty huge. And the key to building strong relationships with others is communication. Here are some basic guidelines to keep in mind. Your success in life, for the most part, hinges on your ability to communicate effectively. This skill opens doors for you and helps you navigate various situations. Even if you're in a technical job like being a computer programmer or engineer, you'll still spend a significant amount of time, up to 75%, interacting with others. All the victories you achieve in life stem from good communication. When you communicate well, people tend to like you, trust you, and want to be involved with you. Top executives have even said that their success is more influenced by their ability to communicate effectively than anything else. But here's the good news. Effective communication is a skill that you can learn and improve upon. You can do this by observing what the best communicators do and practicing those techniques yourself. And since it's a learned skill, the more you work on enhancing your communication abilities, the more success you'll achieve over time. So don't underestimate the power of communication. It's your ticket to reaching higher and higher levels of success in life. In my opinion, the first and most important step for effective communication is to shift your focus away from yourself and onto others. What I mean is, try to think less about yourself and more about the people you're interacting with. Often when people communicate, they're so wrapped up in their own thoughts, worrying things like, I hope I make a good impression. I hope they like me. Oh no, I hope they're happy they listen to me. It's all about me, me, me. But here's a little secret. Effective communication is actually all about others. It's about understanding their perspective, listening to their needs, and making them feel valued. Remember, it's your life. And you have the power to choose who you spend time with and when. So make the most of it by focusing on others and making meaningful connections. Take a moment to think about what really matters to you and what you value most. Remember, time is limited, so it's important to use it wisely. Imagine you have $100. It's okay to spend $20 on something fun or enjoyable, but it's crucial to allocate the majority of it, say $80 towards the things that are truly important to you. Now, what if you flip those percentages around? Would you feel satisfied if you spent $80 on something fleeting and only $20 on your values and commitments? Probably not. It's smarter to invest the bulk of your resources, whether it's money, time, or energy, where you know it will bring positive results in the long run. So instead of splurging on things that provide short-term satisfaction but don't really add value to your life, focus on investing in what will bring you lasting happiness and fulfillment. It's all about making wise choices and prioritizing what truly matters to you.